Good afternoon. Gonna wait and see if everything is working. It looks like it's working. Okay. Gonna wait for you to hop on before I start the first day of the live free event dedicated to inner child, inner teenager, and our ancestral lines. I see someone is watching. Can you just please let me know in the comments if you can see me and hear me okay? Actually, we have a quite heavy rain right now in Scotland, and I have a window above my head. I'm not sure if you can hear any sound. Hello. Let me know if you can just hear me okay, because I don't really want to record this broadcast if there's sound of rain. You also need to give permission to StreamYard to be able to display your name, because right now I just see hello from a Facebook user. Hello. Hi, Sandy. Amazing. That's super. Thank you so much, Sandy. Okay, so I'm gonna start by introducing myself. Perfect. Thank you so much. My name is Dominika Magdalena. I am a multidimensional artist, but I'm also a channeler, a multidimensional energy healer, and a mentor. And my mission here is to stretch your awareness, but also to guide you back home, which is the unconditional love, the divine self. I see more of you is hopping on. I'm so happy, guys. I am so thrilled that the inner child, inner teenager, and ancestral line healing is back on because there is this intense increase of things, traumas, past traumas, ancestral traumas that we are releasing right now. Not everyone is aware of healing modalities that can use on himself to help yourself. So I'm really thrilled, and I can't wait to start this event and share with you a lot of vast and very useful knowledge over the next 4 days. So thank you so much for being here. If you're going to watch the replays, please let me know in comments if you found any useful information, if you had any aha moments, or if you would require anything else more specific. Okay. So before I start, I just wanted to set a sacred intention for this live event and for today. And the intention for today, hello everyone, hi. The intention for today is for all of our beautiful divine inner children to be finally noticed, heard, seen, so we can create a beautiful connection with this little version of us. Today specifically, we will be focusing on the inner child, tomorrow on the inner teenager, and on Wednesday on the ancestral line. But I really would love to create this open space where this connection is clear and possible, where your awareness will stretch, where you will be able to see things from slightly different perspective, loving perspective on everything that has happened for you in your life. So this is my intention for all of us. Okay. Right, let's start with the inner child. We all are very familiar with that phrase, inner child. It's a very common phrase among, psychologists, psychiatrists, mentors. But I'm just going to briefly remind you what is happening on an energy level as well. So when we are being born, we are coming here to planet Earth, we are incarnating into our physical bodies. We forget everything. And we come here as this beautiful, pure spark of unconditional love. And depending on the family that we have chosen, it may happen that our perfect, loving bubble bursts and is changing into a very unsafe environment. When a child is being born, it is very natural for a child to see the home environment, mom and dad, or the caretakers, as a safety place, as a safety nest. And when a child goes outside and falls and hurts his knee, he immediately, without thinking, runs back home because this is his safety. He knows she knows will be that he will get the help, support, that he will be looked after. But when this bubble bursts, for whatever reason, sometimes it may be a very simple experience, very trivial experience, something very, very simple where there is no bad intention coming from the parent. When that safety bubble bursts and then bursts again, and the child starts to become aware that this world, this place is not safe, it loses the most important thing, which is the safetyness for a child. And that's when the first wound is being created, the lack of safety, the lack of place where he or she could receive that love and support, peace, calmness. And what happens then, it is also a very natural process for our ego. Our ego steps in. Our ego that we have to save us, to protect us, steps in and starts to take over the role of a parent. And that's what we call the overgrown ego. So basically what happens, ego very quickly, using the resources of logical mind, which at age 3, 6, 9 or 12 is still very limited, is looking for ways to create the safetyness around you. And using those very limited resources from the logical mind, you can imagine that the solution that the ego comes up at such a young age are very are not are not useful. First of all, ego starts to taking over the control and develops emotional immaturity, is looking for its own solutions. It creates complete chaos within the emotional world and much more. But before I'm going to go further, I just wanted to say that on an energy level, because there is no time, everything is happening in the now. And because of that, within your energy field, this wounded inner child, and then also very wounded, even more wounded teenager, still vibrate and still exist and are affecting, this vibration is affecting you every single day in every area of your life. Which is why it is so important to go back to those timelines within your energy field and heal them and transmute them back to love. And there is only one way to heal it, is to understand why it has happened for us, not to us. Now, going back to the wounded inner child. We all come from families where, unfortunately or fortunately, we all have been basically raised by inner child of our parents. We've been raised by children regardless of the age of our parents. And it's been happening, as you know, for generations and generations, and the cycle is continuing and continuing until now. And why now? Because we are at the pivotal point in the history of humanity where we are releasing not only our own baggage, but also the ancestral baggage. So it happens often these days that we are actually not even aware how much work we are doing, how much we are releasing, and how powerful and brave we are really for taking on that task. So going back to the inner child, once the ego overgrows, whether was it from a small trauma, a bigger trauma, a series of traumas or events, or sometimes even unconscious trauma, which I called, for example, a parent who is overprotective or a parent who is physically unavailable. It is actually creating a trauma for a child too. The more we feel withdrawn from the safety, the more the ego takes over. The more we want to control things, because otherwise we will not feel safe, and safety is our primal instinct, to feel safe. We are creating those really harmful, unhealthy, uh, definitely not meant for an adulthood solutions in every aspect of our life. Then we grow into our youth, into a teenager, and the teenager grows into adulthood holding this inner wounded child within, and then we step into yeah and then we step into the adulthood, where we still vibrate as a wounded teenager, and we still vibrate as a wounded child. In fact, most of the times, and I'm saying that from my own experience, our inner child and our inner teenager, most of the times they run all the shows in our life, in every single aspect. And most of the times we actually do not even know how it is to feel an adult, to be an emotionally healthy adult. That was at least my experience. Uh, so these solutions created by ego that are quickly implemented into our life create a lot of emotional, as I said, immaturity. We are emotionally immature, and that's how we step into our adulthood, because no one ever not maybe ever, but often our emotions and our very strong difficult emotions weren't attended by the parent. We were coming up with the solutions for them. In a youth age, it will often be seen through addictions or compulsive behaviors or self-harming, eating disorders, things like that, but I'm going to discuss that more tomorrow. What the point I'm trying to make is that if no one ever will if no one ever show you how to cope and deal with your emotions since very young age, and ego was allowed to grow into this massive thing that is controlling your life and is controlling your emotions, and then emotions are controlling your actions, then it is quite of a journey back to emotionally mature adult person. But I wanted to tell you that everything is possible, and I think I took probably quite tough lesson for myself in this incarnation in every aspect of my life, and I'll explain to you why I did that, and probably a lot of you did the same. For very good reason, obviously. But another thing I wanted to mention is that some of you may already did some work on your inner child or your inner teenager. I think the inner teenager aspect is not being mentioned often enough still, which is why I decided to focus on this aspect of us a lot, and I will be talking about that tomorrow. But what happened for me the past year, I did a lot of work on myself the past 4.5 years, and mainly with the focus on the inner child and the conscious traumas, which were events that I consciously remembered, and I listed them, and I started scanning every aspect of my life. And I had to be very honest, which is not easy, to kind of admit to yourself, where is your inner child running the show? Where is your inner child creating relationships? Where is your child creating a business? How is your child running the finances? How is your child managing the sexual relationships? How is your child raising your own child? So that requires a lot of introverted, introspection and an honest journaling, for example, work. But it's very, very useful and very healing, and it's really opening up us to ourselves, and we can finally see clearly what is going on. But what happened for me the past year, I was aware that we can actually also hold within our energy field a lot of unconscious traumas. And by that, I mean, if there was something so traumatic happened to you at a very young age, we will move that really, really deep into our subconscious mind. And even though we can't consciously remember that, it is still vibrating and it is still there. And I'll tell you on my example how I find out about my own sexual trauma that I experienced as a child. On a few occasions, when I was starting the first group of inner child, I love working with groups because we all always mirror each other to each other. There's never a coincidental group. Each group is divinely orchestrated, and every group and every person in a group has exactly the same vibration as everyone else in a group. It's just amazing how perfectly we are mirroring each other to each other. And what happened in that group, there was many women that actually experienced consciously remembered that they experienced this sexual abuse. And I started wondering, why did I attract all those women? Because I felt like I do not qualify. Maybe I'm not good enough to help them, to lead them, because I did not experience that for myself. Well, I was wrong. I was wrong. And then, as thanks to coaches and healers, I managed to dig out some information from my subconscious mind through the hypnosis. And I'm so happy because, actually, someone says that up until the age of 6, actually, I think up until age of 7, 8, we are creating a complete sense of identity, who we are and who we are not. And we are constantly looking for the validation in outer world of the positives and the negatives. We are looking for those two polarities within the outer world. But this is around that time when after that it's more difficult to uninstall certain programs. Yes, that's right. But so we must be prepared that there might be some certain unconscious memories that we hidden because it was just basically too much for the little person to handle or to even understand. Therefore, this is why I use hypnosis also as a part of the healing journey. I'm also accessing Akashic records too. So we need to be aware that the work needs to kind of go on two levels, the conscious and the subconscious. And that's what I will be doing with the next group of women. Now, when we are being born as this beautiful, pure spark of unconditional love, and often very quickly it is being affirmed to us through those tough experiences that actually we may not be this unconditional love, that we actually may be someone who is unworthy, someone who is unlovable, someone who can't be respected, valued, seen, heard. And what's happening, because this is our essence, love is our essence, this is who we truly are. Because we are losing it, there's being created this big hole within us, this big emptiness, this big energy of lack is being created within our energy field. And what starts at that point, when we become aware that I'm lacking something, there is this inner feeling that I don't feel good enough because I feel there's something missing. We start the process of creating attachments, and everything that we experience starts to depend on the outer world. First, we will create attachments even between us and our own parents, meaning that I will be happy if my mom is happy. Therefore, I will start satisfying my parents, or be the savior, or be the clown. We are stepping into those shadow archetypes just in order to allow ourselves to feel happy. Then when we grow, we start looking for this love and affection in relationships. If I'm going to have a man, if I'm going to have a partner, I'm going to feel fulfilled. If I'm going to have more money, I'm going to feel more worthy. If I'm going to have a big successful business, I'm going to feel accomplished, I will allow myself to be seen because I will finally be deserving. So we are creating emotional, and everything is energy, therefore energetical attachments outside of ourselves. And in order to be back to this true self, we really need to let go of those attachments. We start to create addictions, as I said before. We start to create compulsive behaviors. We start to create physical self-harming, eating disorders, everything just to fill that gap, everything just to fill that hole, everything to find something that is deep, still deep within us. But we maybe consciously or unconsciously decided to believe that loving is simply not safe, that love is not safe, that I can't trust love. So everything that we truly are has been pushed away, has been buried deep within us in a big cages. So as long as we are looking for this love outside of us, but we don't feel it obviously within us, everyone else that we think may give it to us will be just mirroring this lack of love within us back to us, which is so crucial. Hello, Magdalena. Which is why it is so crucial to heal inner child, teenager, and have a good close look at your ancestral line. Because all those people who came before you in those different nows, first of all, we are energetically connected to up to 7 generations before us, and their vibration vibrates within our field. Secondly, it was all divinely orchestrated, and by finding those traumas within ancestral lines, in the same time, we will find a lot of gold for ourselves and a lot of treasures. Another important thing, another important process that is happening within the conscious and subconscious mind of a child is, for example, you have chosen parents that were controlling. You will then, as an adult, as a young person, and as an adult, create two polarities. One that will be the controlling one, and the other one will be a complete lack of control in certain areas of your life. So instead of being balanced person and emotionally mature adult, you'll create as a wounded child two polarities. First of all, the first control that you gain from the parents, just basically because it was given to you. And the second one, because you don't want to be like your parent. And then you will start applying that into certain areas of your life. So you may notice, for example, that there's a lot of disbalance in your life, that you either for 1 week can be the best person, always eating healthy, drinking plenty of water, exercising, being everywhere on time, having this healthy lifestyle. But then for another week you're gonna switch into the next polarity, and you will be doing the complete opposite, and it will be very, very difficult for you to just center yourself and find the balance between. The best way for it is to take a piece of paper and write your mom's names, your dad's name, or your caretaker's names, and just write down whatever was always annoying you within them, because they were controlling, manipulating, overprotective, absent, things like that. And after that, create the polarity for all of that and see where is that actually reflecting in your own life. Now, another very crucial reason why we should always start with the groundwork on inner child, teenager, and ancestral line is, I wish I had the same prop I had last time when I was starting a group. These kaleidoscopes that we used to have at schools, the one with little colorful stones and mirrors inside that you can then just twist and all the shapes are changing. That really, I loved it, and I have it somewhere, but I forgot to bring it. See, the vibration of a wounded inner child or teenager or ancestral line is like a black, not pretty stone within all those colorful other objects in a kaleidoscope. And it will reflect literally in every single area of your life, this vibration, because everything is a mirror of you. Everything is an exact mirror of your vibration. You are like a walking container of energy. And wherever you put most of your attention to, for example, if you are focusing on your business right now because you would like to start a new business, or if you just started a new relationship, or if you are about to become a parent for the first time, wherever most of your attention goes, that's where the unhealed traumas or unhealed issues will start surfacing. So, for example, if I just started a new relationship and I have unhealed relationship with my parents because of the wounded inner child, the partner will start literally behaving like your mom or your dad. If you start in a business and you have, for example, unhealed relationship with your dad, more than likely, you will lose this business. I will explain in more details in a second. And it will basically just reflect everywhere, wherever your attention will go. But before we go into the how to recognize whether your inner child or teenager is running the show, I wanted to stop for a moment and speak about our parents and our caretakers, because as I said at the beginning, my aim is here to connect with this beautiful little child within us and a teenager, but also to see everyone being able to look back at your caretakers and see them as heroes, regardless of how much you have experienced, regardless of how much bad experience they gave you. And I'll explain to you why. I come from a family when I had a very distorted relationship with both parents. There was a long period of time when I would not even speak to my parents. And I thought, this is a perfect solution. I'm just going to cut them out. And that was the worst decision I ever made. But I was fortunate enough to be guided by the higher power, and I met the right people who stretched my awareness and opened my heart. And I can't see my parents now differently than two the most amazing people. And for someone who managed or was finally able to look at these two beautiful people and feel with the whole heart the happiness that I've chose them as my parents, and to actually be able to freely and with love say mom and dad, my mom, my dad. And I wish all of you to allow yourself this kind of healing, because this pivotal relationship is the most important relationship in your life, because this is your relationship with life, with your life. So I will tell you two very good reasons that may help you to shift from victim mentality if you are still stuck there. Because I remember myself saying, I am like that because my mom did this and this, or my dad did this to me, and I'm just the way I am. It's their fault. It can't be any different. Can't be any different. And I was stuck in victim mentality for a very long time, and therefore I was attracting people who are stuck in the same place. And we've been triggering each other constantly because we've been acting like each other mirrors, and it was just a chaos, a complete chaos. But what happens really? First of all, most of you are aware that before we incarnate into physical form, as a soul, we are choosing lessons that we wish to go through for our soul growth, because the soul's purpose is always to grow, to expand, to learn. This is a planet which is often called a school because we have the biggest number of emotions on this planet. Therefore, this planet is literally like a school where we learn the most. And we come here to learn, to remember that we are unconditional love, to learn from all experiences and go back to this unconditional love. So on a soul level, before we incarnate, and that I know from the work of Dolores Cannon. I am a QHHT practitioner, quantum hypnotherapist as well, where I'm taking people through their past life experiences. And there is always a moment where we go back to the source, and on a soul level, a person can explain to me during the hypnotic state why has she chosen certain lessons and what is happening in this time in between incarnation. We often actually meet as a group, family group. We are usually incarnate in the same groups. We are just switching roles in between. Sometimes we may make a karmic agreement with specific person. For example, if in previous incarnation mom did something unpleasant to a daughter, they switch the roles, and now one needs to take care of the other, because only through loving the person that we hurt we can redeem the karma. That's one example. But try to imagine this: when you are back there, when you're back to source, when you are a soul, well, you are always the source, but when you are a soul and not living in a body, and you are this pure unconditional love, and you see this past life from a completely different perspective, from a loving space, and you decide, okay, in next incarnation, I would really like to learn how to respect myself, or how to feel worthy, or how to have a good relationship with my physicality. All of that. You make a list of all of these, and what kind of soul will come and say to you, "Do you know what? I love you so much, and I see how much your soul needs this lesson in order to grow. Let me be the one that will give you that lesson. Let me be the one that will fire up that bullet at you." It will be only a soul that loves you the most, that is ready to gift you with the most. Obviously, when we incarnate, we don't remember. But just imagine, see it from a soul perspective. Who gave you the most? And we usually choose experiences to lose something in our life, like worthiness, respect, love, whatever, just so we can learn it, how to find it on our own, so we can cherish it more. So we are experiencing again polarities. We often need to lose something in order to then find it again and see it from a completely different perspective. So those souls who decided to be your parents or your caretakers, that here on earth, after incarnating, took away from you something, from your ego perspective, actually gave you the most, gave you exactly what you needed to receive. Another even wider perspective that I would like to mention is, because we are shifting now into higher vibration, higher vibrational earth, whatever was not released from your ancestral line, and I'm talking 7 generations, but in my visions when I was channeling, I've seen even more. Whatever was left unhealed, unsolved, excluded, buried, you as a soul stepped onto this ancestral line to take all those lessons on that were unhealed, all the unhealed lessons of your ancestors, in order for this the whole ancestral line to be able to shift higher. So the reasoning behind choosing those kind of experiences as a soul is, as you can see, even more important. And you shall see yourself as a beautiful, brave warrior of love because you decided to take that on. You getting that? Is that clear? So we basically summarized the whole ancestral line. We looked what was left behind, and we took all of that plus our own. This is why the people who call themselves star seeds often had really traumatic lives, childhood, youth age, because there was a lot that they took on. Yes. So see, from that perspective, first of all, you don't see your parents anymore as those, dark characters in your life. It's time to allow yourself to see them this way. It's a great point. It's a great starting point. Secondly, you should start perceive yourself as a really brave soul. And believe me, you took that on because you knew you can handle it. Because your soul knew one day you'll be able to release it, heal it, and transmute it back to love. So please start seeing yourself and all those who took away something from you to give you some gold in return. Please try to see all of yourselves and them from a soul perspective. Because there is no such thing as good or bad experience. There is just an experience that you may grow from. It's your choice whether you act from your ego mind or from your heart. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments. The way to heal, because everything is energy, it is important to transmute this energy back to love. And there is a process of transmutation. The first step I always go through with my clients is to not apply a bandage on a dirty wound. And by dirty wound, I'm not a fan of spiritual bypassing and just saying that let's turn everything into love and let's just fill everything with light. Sure, and it's possible, but the truth is that this little girl or this little boy is still there crying, experiencing that. So without releasing that, without allowing the victim speak first, we are applying a bandage or a plaster on a unclean wound. So the first step we always take, we are releasing the emotions from the physical body. We are releasing emotions from the energy field. We are communicating through the timelines with those different nows with ourselves, and we are loving and caring and reparenting those versions of us that still exist in the now. The second step is to understand and find those lessons that we came here for. So we are finding what actually this experience taught me. How can I grow from that? It was horrible, but there must be gold in it for me. There must be the growth in it for me. So we are finding the growth. And often my clients are surprised when we are actually finding the true reason, the true lesson, the true growth, because it's so much more than they could expect. My dad, for example, often would tell me fishes and children do not have a voice. And I was not allowed to speak about my ideas, my opinions, and things like that. I then developed underactive thyroid, obviously, because the physical body is just extension of mind. Now I'm using my voice to work with others. I'm using my voice in hypnotherapy. I'm using my voice when I share my knowledge. And I know that for a fact that I came here to speak. So my dad took something away from me so I could find it again and use it as a powerful tool. So we are finding this gift and growth. And from that point of view, we are able to generate a pure energy of gratitude. How to approach? Okay, I'm gonna get back to your question when I finish that. Okay. Um, we generate this pure gratitude for the experience, so we are able to release the trauma, and eventually we are able to fill it with love. Everything is being transmuted back to love. Once you find the gratitude, this is when the energy transmutation starts, because the energy of gratitude and love is the way forward to transmute those energies and release them fully, until you look at the picture of your parents and you honestly feel, wow. So this is the process that usually we go through. Sometimes it may take a longer time, because sometimes it may take months to release something, depending on the trauma, depending on what happened. And I know that all of us went through different experiences. However, I'm really so excited about stepping into this new group, because I can't wait to see what will be shown to us, what we will start mirroring to each other, what we will be discovering together and supporting each other. So it's really exciting for me. I'm going to read this question now. I feel love to my parents after turbulent experiences, but I do not know how to heal wounds of previous generations, not to put bandage on a dirty wound, how to approach it. Okay, so by healing, if you are aware of, are you aware of what happened in those previous generations, or is it something that you just assumed that happened? Can you just give me more details? Usually the ancestral line, the way I'm healing this with the women, we are doing a journey through consciousness, and we are connecting directly to those timelines, and we are inviting the ancestors in. No, yeah. So for example, I'm doing this work through either through Akashic records, accessing Akashic records, working closely with my spirit guides that are then giving me visions of what happened, and the same for my clients. I ask for the permission to enter the energy field and the permission from their higher self to receive whatever the client is ready to receive, and then I'm getting those information through the visions, through the wordings, but also through physical pains. So that's how I'm working. And once we find it, usually we can find it within your own energy field, because we carry that within our field anyway. Whatever happened, we can read that from your field in the past. But another step that I do also, as I said, through the journey of consciousness, I am actually inviting the whole ancestral line, whether we need to speak to women or men, we are inviting them all, because they have so much love for us. They usually come without any problems, and they give always such a great support, and they are explaining what happened while they've been alive, while they've been incarnated before you. We mustn't see ancestral line as a burden, like, oh my god, so now I'm being born 7 generations later and I'm gonna have to tidy up. No, everything is divinely orchestrated. If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be here today. You wouldn't be exactly the way you're supposed to be. And believe me, the way they always show support during the sessions when I'm working with the clients, they always very loving and very supportive. Always, they come, they step in, and they help from the spirit side. So I wouldn't worry about that at all, at all. If you have any more questions, please let me know. Did I answer your question? I can't see your name. I'm really sorry. Okay, so I really wanted to also to quickly, briefly mention how to recognize where our child or teenager is running the show. I think that's a yes. The best and very easy way is to literally do the journaling or a drawing. You can draw a big circle, put a dot in the middle of the circle, which is you, and then create a space for every single area of your life. It's Maja. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Maja. Work, romantic relationships, friendships, um, relationship with my physical body, relationship with myself, relationship with my own child. Everything that will come to your business or work, work colleagues, everything that will come to your mind, create a space in this circle. And then write two questions. Where is my inner child or inner teenager running the show? And have a very honest and close look at every area of your life. And when you will be investigating, scanning yourself, the way you behave, the way you react, your emotional reactions specifically, how often am I being triggered by my romantic partner, by my child, by my work colleagues, or whoever else? Because whenever you are triggered, there's something that is unhealed within you, and the person who's triggering you is basically just mirroring back something that needs your attention because it's ready to be released. Ask yourself questions like, why am I in this relationship? Is it because it makes me feel worthy? It makes me feel wanted? It makes me feel safe? Why have I created this business? Again, to feel, accomplished, to feel worthy, to prove that I can. Every type of distorted energy, if you check the bottom line energy, the core reasoning behind why you are in this relationship, why you are having this business, give yourself an honest answer. If the answer will contain a distorted energy like lack of worthiness, proving something, filling a gap, you will know anything that is not love, kindness, passion, excitement. That will be your wounded inner child or inner teenager trying to fill that gap again. So be very honest with yourself. I will briefly just mention that this, if you have unhealed relationship with your mom and dad, the relationship with your mom will often reflect on how you feel with yourself internally. How do you see yourself internally? Your dad will be the outer world. How do I feel the outer world perceives me, and what am I projecting out on people that they see within me? Mom and dad, if the relationship is unhealed, will completely stop, may completely stop the financial flow. Why? Because this is your pivotal relationship. This is your relationship to life. And life energy is current, exactly like money. Money is comparable to the life force, the life energy. And if it's stopped, if it's cut out, it will stop the money, the financial flow too. Dad is the business, mom is the success. Again, if it's unhealed, may affect your business. Your sexual life, for example, building sexual relationships or romantic relationships. If you are vibrating as a girl, not as a emotionally mature woman, you will be attracting men that are emotionally unavailable, that are energetically boys who are unable to commit, create a relationship, will not want to have a child with you because they are still energetically a child. All of that will be affected in a business. But going back to business, people may not want to do business with you because on the energy level they will feel that you are still vibrating as a child. They will not do a serious business with a child. The romantic sexual partners, they will start reminding and triggering us in the form of the unhealed relationship we have with our mom. There may be a lot of ancestral trauma coming through as well. We are holding loads of ancestral memory within our wombs. That will be coming through as well, but we will speak about that on a day 3. And 2 important aspects: your feminine and masculine energy. And obviously, we are not talking about genders. Your energies will create a template from your mom and your dad. And even if you haven't experienced like any serious traumas in your childhood or youth age, your energies, your feminine and masculine energies, may still be distorted and disempowered and act from a shadow archetype if your parental energies were disempowered. Your feminine energy will copy your mom. If your mom often was operating from distorted masculine, which was happening for generations because of the 2 wars, then you will be standing in an overgrown, distorted masculine, and you will be completely in a go, go, do mode, not trusting the actual masculine, the empowered, divine masculine. You will be trying to be in control as a woman. You may have a problem with attracting men, actually, because they will energetically feel a man or too strong energy around you, lack of the soft femininity. There may be a lot of distortion going on in your relationship life. And just because of those 2 distorted energies, not just because those 2 energies create everything there is, right? And now the best, your own child. We often shout at our own child. He's having a tantrum. She's not behaving. Why is she crying? Why is she so scared? Why he doesn't want to go and play with others? Why he is so shy? Your own child comes here pure, just as you did. And most of the time, your own child is mirroring back the exact energy of your own inner child or your partner's inner child or an ancestral story. Your own child may take on a physical illness that will be a mirror of something traumatic that you experienced in your past. And until you will not heal that within yourself, your child's illness may not be so easily cured either. It's a very complex, and I know it's like maybe mind stretching, but this is what it is. Because every physical illness is an extension of our energy. And because children are our greatest teachers, because they come here to show us, to first remind us about unconditional love when they're being born, and we just feel, oh my God, such a pure, pure, beautiful baby. And then to mirror back at us, Mom, this is where you are not healed. I'm showing you, Mom, I'm showing you that. And sometimes if it's not working, they will take on the illness, because this is always the last the form of, sending a message to someone. Physical pain. And what hurts mother or father more than to see its own child ill? Children often create those physical illnesses just to show us something much deeper. So we now are more aware of how our beautiful little inner wounded child may affect literally everything in our life. We know how important it is to heal it. We know it can be only healed through transmutation. We know it should be healed on a conscious and subconscious level. And I really, really would like to invite you to do this exercise where you honestly scan every single area of your life. Do it for yourself. Because after all, there is no one outside of you. There is just you and people who are mirroring you back. And unless you not attend this little child, you not hear it, you not see it, it will be vibrating and will be mirrored back at you by other people's situations and events. So please do. And another great question, once you spot a distorted pattern within any area of your life, another great question you may ask yourself, how old is this version of me behaving in this way? How old is she or he? And connect through your heart. Okay. I hope this information was useful. I just wanted to let you know that I will be opening a new group for women on the 1st of April. As I said, I love to work in the groups because we always perfectly mirror everything back to each other and we are such a great support to one another. And the way I decided to change the form from the last one. And the reason why I decided to change, because I've changed and I evolved. And last time we did not have ancestral line, which this time I decided to include because in one of the visions, my spirit guides literally showed me that at this specific time, in this specific now, we literally became a doorway, a passage for everything that was unhealed at not only in our ancestral line, but also in our so-called past incarnations. This is a time of great release. So we need to almost like a big envelope, record, release everything that ever was us and was unhealed. So that's the first change. The second change is the time. I decided to work with this specific group for 3 months instead of 1 month because I can see that there is much more that we need to release. I want to give us more time. And I increased 1 meeting per week to 2 meetings per week, where I will also include my own channeling, accessing Akashic records for every individual, and working in a hypnotic state to make sure that this time, once and for all, we're going to clean everything out. So it's going to be very advanced work. It's going to be over 12 weeks, 2 meetings per week. Everything will be recorded. Every single meeting will be supported by PDFs. And we will be doing that in a feminine way. And by that, I also mean we will be doing that through the surrender mode, and we will invite all the unseen realms to help us and support us. Because while healing the inner child, I know that often we are stuck in a masculine energy, which is not bad, but it's time for us to step more into divine feminine. And one of the most difficult challenges for women that wish to step onto the divine feminine path is to let go of control. We often say, I need to do it myself, because if it's not me, who else is going to do it? Well, this time we're going to do it in feminine way, through the surrender, through the cooperation with the source directly, through my multidimensional energy healing that I will be transmitting from Andromeda, through accessing Akashic records. But obviously there will be a lot of vast knowledge about energies, about all the experiences I had and how I shifted that in my life. So it will be a 3 months beautiful healing journey. And for those of you who will be engaging with me for the next 3 days until Thursday and being active in the comments, maybe let me know how your scanning exercise went. At the end of the week, I'm going to pick one winner who would join this group for free. If you also could maybe share this event with someone who may need to hear it, or someone who is in need Please do, because we are really living in a time where a lot of cleaning is needed. We need to release a lot. So if you know someone who is looking for help, please share with them this event. So, tomorrow I will be checking if you left any more comments, questions, and if you would like to share some more information with me. Who is running your show? Who is the producer in your book, in your movie? Sorry. And one last thing I just wanted to say. This inner work is very important. But as to manifest anything in your life, in order to manifest the new you, the healthy you, you really need to commit to taking aligned action. And by that, I mean, once we gonna spot a distorted pattern within your behavior or emotional pattern, and we will find the healthy one, it's not going to be enough if you only understand on your logical level, all right, that wasn't the right way of thinking, that wasn't the right way of reacting with this certain emotion. No, you need to process that on your logical level, on your heart level, and you need to take a different than up until now action. Aligned action means a different than up until now. Only this way you will create a completely new blueprint for your new quantum field, another moment to moment, and a new and therefore new version of you. This is the only way. So commitment is the number one. If you really feel fed up, if you really feel tired, if you really feel ready to be that new version of self, the self that you know completely, accept completely, the one that feels free, lovable, the one that doesn't feel emptiness within himself, doesn't need to search for addictions, compulsive behaviors, unhealthy relationships just to feel something. If you're really ready, then I will be inviting you for this 3 month trip journey within a deep, deep inner work where I will share everything I have with you. But it will require commitment. It will. But the commitment itself, it's a lesson number one that we will go through, because as wounded inner children, we usually never learned how to put ourselves first. But this time we will. So if you have any questions, if you want to leave any comments, I know that I'm not seeing all the comments here on StreamYard. I will be able to read them after the broadcast. But please join me tomorrow at 4 p.m. where I will give you a detailed information about the aspect of your inner teenager and why we should always look at this aspect of us. And I will share with you a story how my inner wounded teenager wanted to literally destroy me. I'll tell you everything tomorrow. I'm sending you all much love. Hope it was informative and helpful. Let me know. I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.